Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of Pan TheOrganizer. So today I'm talking about PNS Bead Maker, more specifically how you can make your own secret sauce or secret mix of it, how to supercharge it to alleviate some of the issues that some viewers have been experiencing. Namely, it seems to attract some dust in some conditions in some scenarios, or to have some streaking issues. So I don't experience none of those issues personally because I work in a controlled environment, but some of you have, and I'm going directly to the source. So I spoke to Dave Phillips, the chemist over at PNS, while I was at the SEMA show 2022, and I kind of picked his brain on this mix that has been going around the internet for some time now to get his idea, because obviously synergy and chemical compatibility is very important when you're doing your own mixes. So I went directly to him and kind of asked him what he thought about that mix. And by the way, you'll be seeing me show you how to do the mix, how simple it is. You only need 2 ingredients. So basically PNS Bead Maker and also the new PNS Dream Maker. So this one here is purely a gloss amplifier or gloss enhancer. Doesn't necessarily have any protection in it, but it has some anti-static properties. So I'll give you basically a rundown of how this mix works, and basically why also I asked Dave from a chemical standpoint, but also from a physics standpoint, why does Bead Maker seem to attract some dust in some instances? So we kind of understand why this happens, and for the streaking as well, what happens when we do that mix, what ratio is that mix, and of course, again, you're going to see the demo. By the way, all the products that I talk about today, I'll leave links in the description under the video for you guys to check them out. So all you have to do is sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. First of all, for you guys who might not know what Bead Maker is, it is a spray-on paint sealant that is universal in its application. So basically it can be applied as a standalone product if you want. We don't really use this though for durability because it only lasts about 3 to 4 weeks in real world conditions. But what we use this for is a topper over existing protection. So you can apply it over waxes, paint sealants, graphene coatings, ceramic coatings, regardless what protection's on your paint. You can apply this on there. Also works great for glass, by the way. So what this is, again, it's just a spray-on sealant, and although many products today have caught on to it for its gloss and slickness, this is still one of the OGs. I've been using this for over 4 years now, since I was introduced to it by the guys over at the Rag Company. You guys can see the video on my channel of my first experience with it. I was really blown away, and so a lot of people thought it was hype, right, because they thought it was supposed to last forever. That's not why we use this. Again, this is mainly for a topper. So for people who love maintaining their car, I wash my car twice weekly, and when I'm done my washing process, either as a drying aid or on dry paint, adding a topper is always a great thing. We always want that boosted gloss and slickness, and this was doing a great job. Now, where the issue came is that some people were having issues with it attracting some dust in their environment, their conditions, or it was a bit streaky on application when they were using it. Of course, they have all the instructions on how you're supposed to apply this, especially the first application or the base coat. It needs a few hours of curing, and then maintenance is very easy because you need a lot less of it. But where it also excels is price, right? Like anything PNS makes, value oriented. You can get this in a 16-ounce format, 32-ounce, even a gallon size. So price is still hard to beat. It smells great. I mean, it works fantastic. So how do you correct those issues? So while I was at SEMA, I met a viewer that told me, listen, Pan, I've been having some streaking issues, which again, never happened to me personally. So he started doing some blends with different chemicals, and he said he had found a mix with PNS Dream Maker that seemed to work quite well. So I told him, wait, whoa, slow down your horses. Let's go. I'll bring you directly to the person who formulates these products. So Dave Phillips, again, the chemist, one of the owners of PNS with Bob Phillips, his brother. And so Dave not only is a chemist, but also has a specialty in surface tension. That's how specialized he is. And that's how much he knows how to make products bead, how to make products sheet, what protection, how it works on the surface, that kind of stuff. So I kind of approached him and I asked him, first of all, does that mix make sense? So the person was using 50% Bead Maker and 50% Dream Maker. And what Dave actually recommended is a mix closer to anywhere 10 to 20% of that mix. And we'll explain why in this video. But before we get to the demo itself, I just want to give a shout out also to Jamie the Cleaner. He is a detailing channel also on YouTube, and he dubbed that mix the Clean Maker. So basically what it is, it's a 1:10 ratio of 1 part of Dream Maker to 10 parts of Bead Maker. Or if you want, in a 16-ounce bottle, we'll get to it soon, basically 1.5 ounces of Dream Maker and 14.5 ounces of Bead Maker. You fill that out, you get your 16-ounce solution, you put it in a sprayer, and you're good to go. So in a lot of the testing, it'll help some mobile detailers out there that have to work in different conditions, and people have tested and vetted this process now for many months, and it seems to work quite well. So Dave himself also said 10 to 20% of that Dream Maker in a Bead Maker solution works super well. And the reason being, first of all, why is there any dust that appears? And it's not only for Bead Maker, but other paint protection, sometimes you'll see that they seem to attract dust. Now, why is that? When you're applying a protection on top of a surface, and when the car is moving through air, that combination of the air movement, that friction, because there's still friction, with the protection that's on the surface, usually charges the surface with a positive charge. So the overall charge of that effect is positive. Now, dust in the air tends to be a negative charge. So of course, you understood, as you're driving through the air and you have that protection, now your paint is charged with a positive charge, and you're going through the dust, and the dust has a negative charge. So positive, negative, they get attracted, and hence you have dust accumulation. So the reason being of mixing a bit of Bead Maker with Dream Maker is that Dream Maker was made with different actives inside there, so some different chemicals, and this one here has anti-static properties. So what this does now is you're alleviating the charge basically, and you're going to change the polarity, if you want, or the overall charge of the product, giving it an anti-static property now to Bead Maker, and thus there's not as much dust that will be attracted on the surface. So basically what you're doing by adding Dream Maker is you're breaking that dielectric barrier that's on your surface, and hence you're getting less dust attraction. Also, what Dream Maker does, if you're used to applying this, we notice that when you apply this, you need to rub it in or wipe it in for a little longer on the surface, and this was created on purpose with its properties, right? So by having a bit of that Dream Maker inside your Bead Maker solution, you also need some extra wiping of the product on the surface to wipe it in, and hence you're getting less streaking. Because when you're working Bead Maker in, the trick to having it streak less is the amount of product that you're using, but also wiping for just a little longer. So by adding that Dream Maker, you're working the product into the surface a lot more, and you're getting an even application, and hence you're getting less streaking. So you're getting the double benefit, right? There's also some surface energy differences when you're adding the Dream Maker, because Dream Maker inside there also has some leveling agents inside it that really help with less streaking or a more even distribution, and that, well, contributes to less streaking from Bead Maker. And also, of course, we all know the gloss amplification. If you want something that really, really has insane gloss, Dream Maker is one of those, and it also gives a more warm feel, almost not quite like carnauba level wax, but a warmer feel compared to something like a ceramic coating, which has a candy-like gloss, a colder gloss. So this really helps with that. So by combining both, you're really getting the best of both worlds. So you're not only reducing the static energy, if you want, because of the anti-static property, so you have less dust attraction, or a majority have said no more dusting issues with Bead Maker by mixing these together. You're also getting the benefits of less streaking, because you're working the product in a little longer, and there's different actives inside there that help the product to level better on the surface, but you're also in the end probably going to even amplify your gloss a little more. Now let me show you how simple it is to make. So basically, in a 16-ounce sprayer bottle, what you're going to do, I have 1.5 ounces of Dream Maker, or roughly 45 mils, that I'm going to put inside there. And also we're going to have 14.5 ounces of Bead Maker. That's roughly 430 mils. So we're going to pour that in there. And what this does is basically a 1:10 dilution ratio. So 1 part of Dream Maker for 10 parts of Bead Maker. So that's how simple this is. Let me just finish pouring this in there. And that's as simple as that. You're going to mix that around, and you can use this as a drying aid on a wet surface. So when you're done washing your car and you're done with the final rinsing while the car is still wet, you can use this, you spray it on the surface, and then you use your microfiber towel to dry the rest of the vehicle. So that acts as a buffer between your towel and the surface, creates lubrication, so that way there's less marring when you're drying. And also the cool thing is that you're getting the gloss and the slickness and the benefits of both products, right, in that ratio. So So 1 part of Dream Maker to 10 parts of Bead Maker once again. So in a 16-ounce bottle, I repeat, it's 1.5 ounces of Dream Maker to 14.5 ounces of Bead Maker, or in mils for those who are in other countries. That's basically 45 mils of Dream Maker to 430 mils of Bead Maker, and that is it. You're good to go. Start to use it. You're going to see the gloss, the slickness, all the benefits of no more streaking, no more dusting issues. I want you guys to try this, by the way, and to give me your feedback for anyone else who was actually trying this in real world conditions. Let us know. It's always cool to have viewer feedback. Again, I never had dusting issues or streaking issues, but I work in a controlled environment in this beautiful garage. It's heated and cooled, so I can work in it all year long. And I have, it's a perfect environment, so I never had any issues. But for those of you who have, let me know how it works for you. I know I've been testing this now for a few weeks and it just works great. Just as much as Bead Maker works, perhaps even a little increase in that gloss, or at least perceived gloss with your eyes. But regardless, I think you are going to love this, but it applied even easier if that's a thing. Even though I had no issues with Bead Maker, this just goes on like butter. And it is definitely one of my favorite DIY mixes right now. I love how the community bands together and we find ways to improve stuff. But now at least you have the explanation from Dave, the chemist over at PNS himself. And I want to give a shout out to Dave, by the way. He's always super open about things. I can always reach out and I can have access for you guys to behind the scenes stuff like this and ask the questions to the appropriate people, to the people formulating these products, and kind of pick their brains. Although he couldn't share, of course, the industry secrets behind the products, at least we understood why there is some streaking or some dusting issues sometimes. And he seems to approve of this DIY mix as well, because they do testing and he noticed that yes, there is that improvement as far as dusting and streaking issues are concerned. So I think that is super awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this tip, by the way. If you want to see more of these kinds of videos, smash a thumbs up on that, shows me your support. Also, share this video with friends and family or anyone you know that uses Bead Maker. They might want to learn this DIY secret sauce, secret mix once again. And I remind you, all the products, the tools, the equipment, I'll leave them linked in the description under the video for you guys to check those out. And in the meantime, don't forget, keep it tight, keep it clean, and I'll see you on the next one.